The night my life was destroyed. It was raining. Not the soft kind of rain that makes cities look beautiful. This was cold rain, sharp rain, the kind that hits your skin like tiny needles and makes everything feel darker than it already is. I still remember standing outside my apartment building in Chicago, staring at flashing red and blue lights painting the wet street in chaos. Police cars. Neighbors whispering. Phones recording. And my hands trembling. Because inside that building, a man was dead. And somehow, everyone believed I killed him. But I didn't. The truth was far worse. The man who ruined my life was my own brother. His name was Ethan Carter. And for most of my life, I loved him more than I loved myself. I was the younger brother. My name is Noah Carter. Growing up, Ethan was everything I wasn't. Confident. Charming. Naturally gifted. The kind of guy who walked into a room and owned it without trying. Teachers loved him. Girls chased him. Friends worshipped him. And my parents? They treated him like he hung the moon. At family dinners, it was always, "Why can't you be more like Ethan? Look at your brother, successful, focused, respected." I heard those words so many times. They became a voice in my head. A voice that whispered, "You'll never be enough." Still, Ethan was my hero. When bullies shoved me in middle school, Ethan showed up and beat one of them bloody. When I got rejected from college, Ethan sat with me all night and helped me apply elsewhere. When Dad died from a sudden heart attack, Ethan held the family together. At least, that's what I believed. Because the truth about manipulators is simple. The most dangerous monsters wear familiar faces. They smile. They protect you. They make you trust them. And then, they use that trust as a weapon. Years later, Ethan built a financial company in downtown Chicago. Small investment firm. Quietly successful. He wore expensive suits. Drove a black Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Lived in a penthouse overlooking the city skyline. Everyone said, "Ethan Carter is self-made." But behind closed doors, his empire was built on lies. I didn't know that yet. To me, Ethan was still Big Brother. So when he called one night and said, "Noah, I need your help. I trust you more than anyone," I came running. Because that's what family does. Right? Wrong. His office sat on the 38th floor of a glass tower downtown. Rain streaked the windows. City lights glowed like broken stars below. Ethan stood by the window, whiskey in hand. He looked nervous. That was strange. Ethan never looked nervous. He turned. Forced to smile. "Good, you're here." I sat down. "What's going on?" He sighed heavily. "Business problem. One of my partners is threatening me." "Threatening how?" "Blackmail." My stomach tightened. "About what?" He paused. Then looked directly into my eyes. "Things I did to survive." That sentence hit strangely. Cold. Sharp. Wrong. I should have listened to that instinct. But blood blinds you. He opened a drawer and handed me a file. Inside were financial records. Transfers. Shell companies. Hidden accounts. Millions of dollars moved quietly. Illegal money. "Ethan, what is this?" He leaned close. "A mistake. One mistake that got bigger. I just need time to fix it." I stood up. "This isn't a mistake, this is fraud." His face changed instantly. Smile gone. Warmth gone. Just cold eyes. Predator eyes. "Lower your voice. People could go to prison." He stepped closer. And whispered. Exactly. Then he smiled again. Fake smile. The kind sharks would wear if sharks could grin. Relax. I called you because I trust you. I left that office feeling sick. Something inside me whispered. Stay away from Ethan. But I ignored it. Big mistake. 3 nights later. My phone rang at 2:13 a.m. Ethan. Panicked voice. Noah, please come. Now. I'm in trouble. I grabbed my coat and drove through empty streets. Rain hammered the windshield. Thunder cracked above the city. When I reached his office building, security let me up. 38th floor. Silent hallway. Dim lights. His office door slightly open. Inside. Glass shattered. Desk overturned. Papers everywhere. And lying on the floor. A man with blood spreading beneath him. Dead. My breathing stopped. I staggered backward. Then I heard a voice behind me. Cold. Calm. Familiar. I'm sorry, Noah. I turned. Ethan stood in the doorway. No panic. No fear. Only calculation. What did you do? I whispered. He looked at the dead man. What I had to. Then he looked at me. And smiled. That smile still haunts my nightmares. Now, you're going to help me one last time. My chest tightened. No. He sighed. Almost disappointed. Then he lifted something wrapped in cloth. And tossed it at my feet. A gun. My fingerprints were already on it. Because it was mine. The licensed handgun I kept locked at home. The one only Ethan knew about. My blood ran cold. How? He interrupted softly. You trusted me enough to give me a spare key years ago. Then he stepped closer. Police are downstairs. Anonymous call already made. I stared at him in horror. You planned this. He leaned close enough for me to smell whiskey on his breath. And whispered. Noah, people believe what they expect. And everyone expects the quiet, jealous younger brother to snap eventually. Tears burned my eyes. Why? For the first time. His mask slipped. I saw hatred. Deep hatred. Years of it, because you were supposed to stay beneath me. His voice shook with rage. But Mom changed her will. My heart stopped. What? She gave you majority inheritance. House. Investments. Everything. I couldn't breathe. He laughed bitterly. The failure's son became her favorite in the end. Then he said words I'll never forget. Envy turns love into violence faster than hate ever can. Sirens echoed below. Closer. Closer. Ethan walked backward toward a private exit. Goodbye, little brother. And vanished. Leaving me alone. With a corpse. A murder weapon. And fingerprints everywhere. Seconds later. Police stormed in. Guns raised. Don't move. I froze. Hands lifted. Rain hammered the windows behind me like applause for a perfect crime. And as cold steel handcuffs locked around my wrists, I realized something horrifying. My brother hadn't just framed me. He had studied me. Manipulated me. Prepared for this for years. And he wasn't finished. Not even close. The first thing prison teaches you is silence. Not peace. Not reflection. Silence. Cold walls. Steel doors. Heavy footsteps in endless hallways. And at night, your thoughts become louder than screams. For 6 months, I sat in a jail cell in Chicago waiting for trial. The evidence against me was perfect. My fingerprints on the gun. My DNA at the scene. Security footage placing me in the building. Financial documents proving I knew too much. And prosecutors kept repeating the same sentence. Jealous younger brother murders business partner during confrontation. Clean motive. Clean story. Clean lie. Fingerprint evidence has carried enormous weight in U.S. courts for more than a century, including landmark cases in Chicago itself. Discover Magazine +1. I was buried. Or that's what Ethan believed. Then one rainy night, I met Marcus Hale, a former forensic accountant. Gray beard. Sharp eyes. Quiet voice. He was serving time for exposing corruption no powerful people wanted exposed. He watched me for weeks before speaking. One evening he sat beside me in the prison library and said, "Your brother framed you." I froze. "How do you know?" He opened a newspaper clipping. Ethan's smiling face on the business page. Headline: Carter Capital expands nationwide. Marcus laughed softly. Cold laugh. Men like that always get greedy after winning. He leaned close. Greed creates patterns. Patterns create mistakes. Then he said something that changed everything. Your brother didn't frame you because he hated you, he framed you because he feared you. That sentence hit deep. Because fear explains cruelty better than hate ever can. Hate is emotion. Fear is survival. And survival makes monsters ruthless. Marcus helped me think differently. Not like a victim. Like a hunter. We rebuilt every detail in my mind. Every conversation. Every document. Every lie. Then it clicked. The shell companies. The hidden accounts. One transfer. A strange number burned in my memory. 47 Delta Holdings. Not a real company. A cover. Marcus smiled. Find the money, find the truth. But I was in prison. No laptop. No phone. No freedom. Then fate moved. My mother visited. Older now. Eyes heavy with guilt. She grabbed my hands through glass and cried. I was wrong about Ethan. Then she handed my lawyer a sealed envelope. Inside, Dad's old notebook. Private records. Handwritten. And one sentence circled in red. Never trust Ethan with money. He lies beautifully. My father knew. Years ago. He knew. That's why Mom changed her will. That's why Ethan snapped. Envy had been eating him alive for years. My lawyer reopened everything. Quietly. Carefully. Then forensic accountants followed 47 Delta Holdings. What they found was massive. Fraud. Money laundering. Blackmail payments. Bribed officials. And one final transaction. To the dead business partner's private account. 3 hours before his murder. Payment title. That was enough for a warrant. Federal agents raided Carter Capital. Computers seized. Phones cloned. Private servers cracked. And buried deep inside encrypted files. They found video. A confession no one expected. Ethan recorded everything. Not for guilt. For ego. Predators love trophies. On camera he stared into a whiskey glass and smiled. No one never saw it coming. Quiet people are easy to use, because they still believe love means loyalty. Then he laughed. He worshipped me. That's why destroying him felt effortless. My stomach turned hearing it. But then came the line that ended him. I killed Daniel. I framed Noah. And I'd do it again. Complete confession. Clear voice. Clear face. Clear truth. But Ethan ran. Private jet. Fake passport. Millions offshore. 3 countries in 4 days. Finally tracked to Lisbon. Luxury hotel. Ocean view suite. Expensive wine. Designer suit. Still smiling. Still arrogant. He thought he'd won. Interpol arrested him at breakfast. In handcuffs. For the first time. He looked small. Weak. Terrified. That's the truth about narcissists. Their confidence is often just fear wearing expensive clothes. When power leaves, their real self appears. Fragile. Pathetic. Empty. My conviction was overturned. I walked free after 263 days. Rain fell the day I left prison. Same cold rain. But it felt different. Cleaner. Like heaven washing blood off my life. Months later, I sat in court. Ethan chained at wrists and ankles. He looked at me. No smile now. Only rage. Only defeat. He whispered, "You ruined everything." I looked straight into his eyes and answered, "No. Your envy did." He looked away. Because truth burns worse than punishment. Psychologists often note a dark truth. Some people don't want success. They only want to be above you. And when they fear losing that position, they become dangerous. Even family. Especially family. Because betrayal cuts deepest where trust lives. Today, I live quietly. Lake house. Simple life. Peaceful mornings. No empire. No luxury obsession. Just peace. Sometimes at night, rain taps against my windows. And I think about Ethan. My brother. My hero. My destroyer. And the lesson he taught me. Blood can make you related. Character decides whether you're family. Some betrayals don't come from enemies. They come from the people you trusted most. And sometimes, jealousy wears the face of family. If this story stayed with you, subscribe, because the darkest truths are often human.